One of my favorite modifications for our Bronco is the ARB Zenith front bumper. Now in today's video, I have the rear ARB Zenith bumper, and we're going to check it out and show you how to install it onto the Ford Bronco. Much like our ARB Zenith front bumper, the rear bumper is just as cool looking and just as durable. This bumper is made out of a 10 gauge steel and comes in the same powder coated black as the front bumper does, so you have no worries about them matching each other. Now this also has the same features. If you have a Bronco that's equipped with any parking sensors, this will come with all of the hardware and attachments to be able to put them on the bumper. Another cool feature to point out with this rear bumper, it also does come with the recovery points just like the front does. Now this bumper is strictly for the 21 and up Ford Bronco, and the one that we have here today is for the wide flares. But if you do have a Bronco that's equipped with the narrow flares, you can also purchase one for that as well. Now let's go ahead, take the rear bumper off of our Bronco and get this one installed. The first step to our install is by removing the rear bumper, but in order to do so, we actually have to remove the spare tire first. With the spare tire out of the way, we're going to go under the Bronco and remove 4 19mm bolts that help hold the bumper on. Now we're going to remove some 13mm bolts that are on the passenger and the driver's side that hold on the rear bumper. Once you have the bumper removed, go ahead and disconnect this plug on the side here. Now we're going to remove our muffler from the hanger, and then we're actually going to remove the hanger bracket itself. With the factory exhaust hanger bracket removed, go ahead and grab your ARB relocation hanger and attach it using the OEM hardware. With them both bolted together, grab your M8 hardware, which is supplied in the kit, and then put it back in the factory position and tighten everything up. After you have the bracket tightened down and secured, you can go ahead and rehang your exhaust. Now I didn't show us rehanging our exhaust mainly because we have an MBRP exhaust and it has a different mounting bracket, so I had to make it work for this kit then. For our next step, go ahead and grab the bumper mounting bracket, and then also grab the 19mm bolts that we removed earlier because they'll be able to help this hold in place. Also, grab a rubber mallet because these are a little tough to get into place. Once the bracket's on, grab your M16 by 35 bolt and nut and throw it in the side here. And just leave it loosely in there, do not fully tighten. Now grab your M12 by 110 bolt and slide it through the top of the bracket and loosely install. And grab another M10 bolt, slide it through the bracket, and leave this loosely installed as well. Once you have all your hardware in there, go ahead, tighten everything down, and then repeat the same process on the opposite side. With both mounting brackets on, tightened down, and secured, it's now time to put our recovery point brackets on using the M12 by 30 hardware. And we are just going to loosely install these. We are not going to tighten them down just yet. With the recovery point bracket loosely installed, go ahead and put in the recovery point. And then put a bolt through the top of it. With the recovery point in, go ahead and snug up the bracket. And then afterwards, feed in the rest of your bolts here. Once you have all your hardware in there, go ahead, tighten everything down, and then repeat the same process on the opposite side. Now that we have both mounting brackets and recovery points tightened down and secured, it's now time to get the bumper ready to go on the Bronco. But before doing so, we actually have to install 6 cage nuts along the bottom side of the bumper, and then we'll put a plate on it, and then from there, we'll put it onto the Bronco. Now before we just go ahead and throw the rear bumper on, ARB does recommend to tape up the recovery points so you don't end up scratching the red coating. So I'm going to definitely go ahead and do so, and then we'll throw this bumper on. Well, as you can see, I got the bumper on. It's time to throw in these M12 bolts that were supplied with the kit to be able to fasten the bumper to the Bronco. Now, one thing I do want to mention, when you're putting in these bolts, don't fully tighten them because you're going to want to adjust the bumper and get it to sit correctly on the Bronco. If you ever have an issue where one side is sitting lower than the other and you need to correct it, ARB does supply these spacers in the kit to be able to lift up one side if one side is lower than the other. Let's go ahead, throw this hardware in, and then get the bumper aligned. At this point, if your Bronco has parking sensors, go ahead and install them into the rear bumper. But if you don't, like our Bronco, then ARB supplies these caps to be able to fill in the holes. With the spare tire back on, we're going to go ahead and grab the hardware in the ARB kit and use these as our new lug nuts. Go ahead and grab your license plate relocation bracket, some hardware, and then install it to the spare tire mount. After the bracket's tightened down, grab the new supplied license plate light and install it to the bracket. It's now time to wire up our license plate light. I was checking out the ARB instructions and they suggest going into the right quarter panel and tapping into one of the main harnesses. Now I found a little bit of an easier way and a way that looks better in my opinion on doing this. The only thing you're gonna need is some extra wire, and then we're actually gonna tap into the original license plate light harness. So let's go ahead, wire this up and see how it looks. With the tailgate open, just pop off this rear cover. And then from there, pop out this grommet by just pushing the 2 pins on the side. And then the 2 pins on the top. Now we're going to go ahead and stuff these wires through this grommet. So what I did, I grabbed a pick, put the wires on the end and some tape, and then we're just going to press this through. Then on the other side, you can kind of peel off that tape there and then pull your pick out. Now we're going to pull this cover off here. With the cover off, we can fish our new wires behind that panel then. Now we're going to pop off this cover here. Now we're just going to pull back this side panel here because my plan is to actually run the wire through this hole and then down under through here. All right, so we're gonna grab our pick again and then wrap our wires around it. And then this time we're actually just gonna go through the weather strip here. Same thing as last time. Peel off your tape around the pick and pull your pick out. Now that we got our wire where we need it to be, we're gonna throw it underneath the Bronco and behind the bumper. And then we're gonna grab our factory license plate light harness, cut the plug off at the end of it, connect the yellow wire to our red wire, and then connect the ground, which is the black, to our white wire. And then everything should be hooked up, ready to go, and we'll throw the Bronco back together. Well, we are all wrapped up with the ARB rear zenith bumper for the 21 and up Ford Bronco. It looks great, it's gonna be durable, and it wasn't too bad to install. Now you're definitely gonna wanna give yourself a couple hours if you are installing this onto your Bronco. And like I said, if you wanna wire it like we did, definitely pick up some extra wire before starting this install. It's time to drop a gear and disappear. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, check the link in the description for all your off-road part needs.